Hi, welcome to Retro MX Reviews. I'm Mark, and today we're going to look at the 1986 Honda CR500. This is a very popular bike at the time, and it remains really popular in vintage circles because it's just such a good bike. Honda went to water cooling in '85, and then in '86 they made some more refinements, and people really just love this bike. So it's got a really high collectible value because it also had a lot of good championship races with David Bailey and then the Motocross Nations. So with that, we're going to do a walk around and kind of get to know the bike, and then we'll go out and we'll do some laps, and I'll come back and talk a little bit about what it's like to ride the bike. So here we are taking a little closer look at the CR. Now this bike, I'll be honest, I have some history with this bike. I've had it for almost 2 years, so we've gone through a few things. We've added a decompression release to make it start easier, an exhaust flange from MSV to help it seal better, and a Kahina Air Striker carb for a little bit cleaner carburation. I've also upgraded the shock spring to a much stiffer rate. It's kind of the big downfall with these older bikes is they were very, very soft, even the 500s. This one has a Pro Circuit pipe, and very similar, you know, across the board, very similar to the 85 in terms of motor. 87, they went to a little bit longer rod, which mellowed the power a little bit, made it a little more usable. But the golden nugget of the 86 Hondas were these forks. This was the first year a cartridge fork was put on a bike, and it is a night and day difference, especially on a bigger, heavier bike like a 250 or 500. So with that, we'll take it out. I'm racing today, so we're going to do a moto and then come back in and give some feedback on what it's like right after you come off the bike. Okay, so here we are, fresh off the track of the CR500. Just kind of run through a few of the things. Start the engine. The bike is great amount of power, and this one's even been geared down to tame it a little bit, but it's just a very explosive, fairly short power, and you can hear in the video, you know, sometimes it gets revved out, but once you start revving it, then it just vibrates so much, so you kind of have to be smart with that. The bike really rewards when you can ride smooth. If you try to rush things, if you try to force things, it doesn't go. So you have to set up for curves earlier, roll on the throttle, kind of power through like that. You just can't go in and panic and make things happen. The bike punishes you like that. They all do to an extent, but the CR500 especially. Chassis, this bike is a fantastic turning bike, and I mean, I've ridden lots of newer bikes, even new Suzukis that everybody raves about their turning. This old bike, even with the goofy layout and the big tank, it turns intuitively, and that's kind of a Honda characteristic, but most old bikes do too. But it's a fantastic turning bike. The suspension has been upgraded a lot, and this track didn't have a lot of jumps, but it feels busy. Newer bikes seem to have a lot more control, but it just feels kind of busy. But still, you know, it gets around the track well, but probably the biggest key to riding the CR500 is it has more to do with learning how to manage that engine. And just kind of working with the power instead of trying to force it to do what you want it to do. But it's such a fun bike to ride. If you're not in shape, it can put a hurt on you. So like I said, I've had this bike, I've raced it a lot, so it's not really a fair, just, you know, one day ride impression of the bike. I just put a lot of hours on. Very comfortable on it, but they're really popular in vintage. There's a good reason for that. You know, you get, it's a lot better than a Leslie 490, I'll put it that way. And even the older layout here is a very comfortable bike to be on. So with that, there's a little bit of seat in the pants impression of what it's like to ride the old CR500. Probably my favorite bike. Something that I will always plan on keeping. So, yeah, with that, looking forward to finding other people's bikes as we continue these tests. And thanks for watching. We'll see you at the track.